Do you want me to like introduce myself?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Ben Reineke. I can't. Okay, so this is how to change my pump supplies out and my glucose sensor, which you'll see in a second. So, got a new bottle of insulin here. This is my reservoir. So I just open that up. And this is what the insulin goes in. So I'm just gonna give it a few pumps, push out some air. I'm gonna fill it with air and just stick it in the bottle and push out the air. Tilt it over. And the air pressure will fill it up on its own and get rid of most of the air bubbles. You can pull on it a little bit if you want to. This fills 3 milliliters of insulin, which is about pretty much 300 cc's or 300 units. There's a little bit of air at the top there, so what we're going to do is just push up, get rid of that air. A couple air bubbles, we want to get rid of those. Push up a little more. Then we pull back down. Now what I'm going to do is just unscrew the top part here. Leave that there. And we have our reservoir. Then I'm just going to unscrew the bottom part. Leave that there. Now I get to put on my sight. This is the next step. It's pretty easy. It's a spring-loaded device that you take the lid off. Here. Then here's our tube. So you're just going to unscrew that around here, unravel it. One more time. There's a little divot. You can put it in and place it, but it doesn't really hold it that well. Next, I'm gonna take off the needle tube protective condom thing, whatever you want to call it, and then peel that off. Now I'm gonna hold it on its 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock after I peel this off, which I should have done earlier.
Who taught you? The nurse do that? Instruct you, or
It was actually the
rep?
the rep, yeah,
Yeah.
the salesman.
Quite kind of complicated.
Can't remember his name, but he basically just took it through me like this, and he said, "You pull this till you hear a click, like that, and then you're good to go." I'm gonna pick side over here. These 2 buttons on the side, you just click them when you want to inject it. I like to do it on the inhale because I know my muscles are going to be more relaxed. Just like that. I like to let it hold there for a few seconds before taking out the needle, just so the adhesive sticks on. You grab this. Again, I like to do it on the inhale because it's just going to be more relaxed. And then I disconnect this, and now you have your sight and your tubing. So make sure you put this protective cap back on so you don't hurt yourself. Then we go back to the reservoir, screw this in until you hear a snap, or you feel it. Go back to your pump, screw it in here, Then you go back to your settings, and it'll actually say load reservoir once you open up your pump. Hit that, press the key to unlock it, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Hold down the button on load, and it'll start beeping when it's ready. Let go of the button, hit next, and now it's going to ask you to fill the tubing. So you're going to hold this button down again until you see insulin come out of here. Takes a little bit because it comes out in increments of 0.6 units. So they just don't want you to be wasteful with your insulin. There's a few drops. I just wiped that off. Hit next. Then you insert this into your site. That. And then we hit the button fill. And then it'll say fill amount. We fill it up 0.5 units just to fill this little section here. And then it does that. And then we're done there. Oh, for this guy, I just kind of rip them off like a Band-Aid.
So what you just put in was your insulin delivery
Yeah, that was my
mechanism.
insulin delivery device.
Yep.
It's my Medtronic pump. Now this is...
Which you've had some type of that for a while.
Right.
Watch the globe. Okay. It's the next part that's kind of new.
Yeah, this is the new CGM that I've been using. It's called the Freestyle Libre, and it's just this small wireless device that you can charge with a micro USB. And what you do is you press this little blue button here. It turns it on, and it'll say scan sensor to check. My sensor's on my arm right here.
Oh my
What you do is you just hold it up here, and it tells you your blood sugar, just like that.
Yeah, and that's high.
Mine's high, but as you can see, it'll also show you a line graph of what your blood sugar has been doing since 5 in the morning for right now, and the arrow pointing up shows you what direction it's heading towards. So I'm going to want to take some insulin. Let me do that real quick. So here I just go to bolus. Here, I'll show you. I go to bolus wizard, BG, put it in.
So it doesn't know. That doesn't know that what you
Right.
are.
These
Okay.
devices aren't connected
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
And then I just hit next. It'll say your blood sugar's high. Deliver bolus. And then it'll start.
Okay. So it's giving you. How many units is it giving you?
Give me 5.4, and it'll show you the progress it's made, which is I think is pretty cool. So if you want to stop it halfway through or something,
Okay.
it'll tell you how much you made.
So can you show me real quick how it knows, like, what is your...
My
what
rates?
your rates, what it's
Yeah.
giving you.
So this button
I used
means
to know all this stuff. I don't know any of it now.
this button means settings,
Uh-huh.
pretty much. And so you go here. I don't think I can do it while it's bolusing, but what you would do is you'd go to insulin settings if you'd want to adjust all that. I think you can go to basal, and it'll show you your basal rates. So basal patterns, basal 1. So this is how much insulin I'm getting in one day, just flat rate through the pump without adding carbs or anything. If I hit that, it'll show a schedule of how many rates I'm getting at what time.
Okay.
Sometimes they change. Right now they're all kind of the same because Dr. Breyer and I were trying that out since my last appointment. But a while back they were like, for a couple hours it was 1 unit per hour. For another couple hours it was 1.3. I think sometimes it was 1.15, you know, stuff like that. Just little tiny adjustments that can make a difference over a couple hours. So we're going to replace this now.
And do you change that every time you change?
So you actually change this every 14 days,
Oh.
which is pretty long lasting.
This part on your arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually not very good at getting this off. The adhesive is very strong, and it just takes some prying,
Wow.
and I don't want to do that on camera. So
I see.
I'm just gonna show you how I put one in.
Okay.
Now these
So
only.
you're saying it's painful?
I'm not saying it's painful. It's just a strong adhesive, so there's no good way to like get your finger on
Okay,
it. You know?
but it's just like a stick-on. It's not another.
You'll see.
Okay.
There is a tiny little sensor
But
needle
not.
that's in there.
Oh, great.
But it's not
Oh,
like
wow. Okay.
it's
Do you ever feel like a pincushion?
it's smaller than this.
Okay.
I feel
All
more
right.
like a cyborg than a pincushion.
Oh man, that's interesting. God.
So this is really simple. You only have.
This is not simple.
Well, I mean, there's
I
a lot
know.
less stuff to deal with here
I know.
versus.
I gotcha. Lord, I know it. Gee, that is.
It's a lot of trash. I don't like that. It's so much trash.
Yeah.
So these can only go on your arm.
Okay.
I guess it's just the way the technology works. It doesn't work as well if it's on your stomach or your
Legs
anywhere
or something.
really.
Okay.
Yeah, they only work on the back of your arms.
Okay.
So what I like to do is they give you 2 alcohol swabs. So I like to wipe down one time before I even do anything, and then do it a second time right before I do it.
All right. You do that every 14 days, and then the other, what you just did with the insulin, what was that? What's that?
That's every 3 to 4 days. So we'll get there with that tech, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't matter what order you do this in, really. You can do either or. I'm going to start with this. So what you do is you peel this off, and this contains your sensor in there.
Okay.
You don't really want to touch any of that. It's pretty fragile. Then this, you're just going to unscrew it. You're just going to go like that. Now this is the adhesive, and the other part. This is the part you see.
Okay.
This is the part that goes in you, pretty much.
Oh, man.
Now, if you can see, there's a line here and a line here.
Okay.
You want to align those together, and then push down. That connects the adhesive to the needle.
Okay.
And now it's primed. It's ready to go. That's what goes in me, as you can see. The little
Little needle there.
little needle. If you see, there's a little white strip on there, kind of. I think that's part of the sensor. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure.
Yeah, it didn't focus.
So-
well. Okay.
This is ready to go. I'm just gonna set it down gently. Do this one more time.
You got a lot of red on you, don't you?
Yeah, it's just scar tissue.
You think from the pokes and stuff?
I think so, from needles.
I mean,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people that have have their skin like that. Go ahead.
So what I'm gonna do is just basically push this in, and you'll see.
Does that hurt?
No. I think it would hurt if it were on a different part of the body, but the back of your arms are pretty tolerant of pain. At least mine are.
Yours are, yeah.
And that's it. So it's
Okay.
on now.
That's the sensor.
So now what we do, the last step, before we can use this completely, is hit this button, and then you're gonna hit check glucose,
Okay.
just like you normally would. So like, for example, I'll show you, if I were to scan this one, it'd show me the blood sugar.
Okay.
Okay.
297.
If I were to scan this one, it's gonna start a calibration procedure. It says new sensor found. Starting a new sensor will end the sensor you're currently using. Would you like to start the new one? If I hit yes, which I'm going to, it will say start new sensor, scan it again, and then it takes 60 minutes to
Wow.
calibrate and get ready.
Okay.
So then
Do you always
that's
leave
it.
this one in, or do
No,
you
I
generally just take it out?
take it out.
Okay. All
Because
right.
14 days is enough time for the skin to pretty much completely heal, which is great because then you're not, hurting your arms too bad.
All right.
And now we clean up.
So what's the other part? Wait, what's the other thing on you then?
The other what?
Here, over here. Okay. No, that's.
Oh, that was my old site.
Your old side.
That was my old site.
Okay.
That's,
So it's
yeah.
just the two things that you have in you. Wow.
Yeah.
And then we have, like you said, you got look at all that.
That's all the trash you generate.
And think of like how much each one of these cycles costs.
Right.
And, you know.
Plus the insulin.
And people.
Right here.
Not everybody can afford this. That's for sure.
I know.
That's okay.
And one of these is probably gonna last your pump 3 sessions
okay.
of that insulin.
Probably depending on how
Right.
much insulin you need.
So what is that, like 12 days? Almost half a month.
Yeah.
This will last you almost half a month.
Yeah.
And it's just keeps getting more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for
Hopefully,
sharing.
Yeah, of course.
All
Anytime.
right. Okay. Maybe I'll load this on YouTube. Would you be opposed to that?
Maybe if you take the condom comment out.
All right. Thank
Sure.
you.
Yeah.
Bye, Ben Reineke.
Happy Thanksgiving.